Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item we got on the agenda is the minutes, claim docket, and consent items. Looking for a motion to approve.
I make the motion we approve the minutes, claim docket, consent items.
Second. Got a motion by Mr. Stock, second by Mrs. Will, to approve the consent items as listed. Any comments or discussions on the items? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries 5-0. The next item we have is the patron's concern, and we have, I'm gonna mess this up, but Mr. Sean Piszczalski.
Piszczalski.
Okay.
Now, you already told you my name. I came here a couple months ago to ask permission to build my benches on the school property, and I was approved. And I came back now to show you my success at that, and also I became an Eagle Scout during that time. And I'd also like to give special thanks to Mr. Stock, which also has pictures of the benches after we stained them. We didn't. I have pictures here. Yep, we can pass that around if you want.
Okay.
There's some on that too.
They look
Which one's
real
you?
good.
Which one's you? Is it you?
Those are my helpers.
I was gonna say you're the, you take the photograph?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's nice to have some helpers.
Yeah.
You have some good helpers, don't you?
Yep.
All right.
Those are real nice.
Yep.
So is the
I've
white
seen-
and red cross, is that for the Eagle Scout, or is that?
No, I tried looking for my Eagle Scout holder thingy, but I couldn't find it. But I found a good replacement.
There you go.
So did your project come in under budget, on
Actually,
time?
we got a lot more than we expected. The project was at least $1,300, and we were able to get a lot more than we expected. Like, we got it in the first month, enough money in the first
You
month.
got it faster, you didn't get more, you got it faster than you thought.
That's always good.
Well, I know, I ride by and I look at them, I think they're very nice addition to our soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice benches.
Yeah,
The
Sean,
teams appreciate them.
Sean picked the hottest day to do it.
Now,
That's between him and his workers.
I worked
His
in-
brother got heat stroke.
Also, I worked them evenly. They didn't get paid, but they worked for me, and they had to. It's a liability. They're my friends. They have to work for me. They owe me.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Very successful project.
Congratulations on your Eagle Scout.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next I'll turn it over to Dr. Camp for new business.
New business, I'd like to ask the board to cancel the contract with E&A for Category 2 services, the Wi-Fi project that we approved back in May 8, 2017 at the board meeting. The letter that I sent to them will be made part of the minutes by incorporation, so at this time I'm asking to cancel that contract.
I'll make a motion.
second.
The motion by Mr. Gentile, seconded by Mr. Oakley to cancel the contract with ENA for Category 2 services. Do we have any discussion, comments on the item? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I provided you with several policies: chemicals in the classroom, criminal gang and gang activity policy, sexual harassment policy. We did go through an audit at one of our schools, and there's some verbiage here that needs to be changed, so we'll be working on that. We'll be providing these policies back to you for an update and a new adoption. So there's no action needed tonight, just wanted you to be aware of that. Next thing is, I would like to ask the board to approve the facility use request by Matt Lehman to use our facilities over the holidays at North Posey High School. The reason I ask is we had just passed a new policy basically, and it conflicts with that policy, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't pass it. The reason the policy has that time limit on there is because school is in session. It is over the holiday, and school is not in session, so I'm asking the board to approve that.
Looking for a motion to approve the facility use request submitted by Matt Lehman.
I guess I need to say it's for the West Side Youth Basketball League and the New Year's Eve ball drop basketball tournament. It involves a lot of our students.
Looking for a
Make a
motion.
motion to approve.
Second.
One second.
Motion by Mrs. Will, seconded by Mr. Gentile to approve the facility use request from Mr. Lehman on behalf of the West Side Youth Basketball League. Any other discussion on the item?
I think I'd just reiterate what Dr. Camp said. I mean, the basis behind the policy was that it's a guide, and that we knew there would be some one-offs as exceptions. And this tournament, if I recall, is this its second year, so it's a relatively new tournament, but it does have the potential to have several of our teams participating in it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Under personnel, I'd like to ask the board to transfer Rochelle Belt from her instructional assistant position to temporary fill the kindergarten position vacated and open. Mrs. Belt will also at the same time be completing her student teaching. And Dr. Warmuller is going to read a couple of things here, and then I have a few more things I can say about this request.
We have a letter here from Mrs. Shannon McMunn, the principal at North Elementary. She's recommending Rochelle Belt based on the following criteria: that Ms. Belt has worked as an instructional assistant at North Elementary since 2014. Her time at North Elementary, she has shown that she's very competent in the classroom. Rochelle is very dependable and always eager to go above and beyond for the students and her colleagues. She tutors students of all ages after school each week as well. Rochelle is in the kindergarten classroom 3 times each day. She knows the routines of the classroom and already has a relationship with the students. Last year, Rochelle fulfilled a long-term substitute position for Donna Morrow, second semester in kindergarten. She did an excellent job with this. Rochelle has been working on her elementary teaching license for approximately 2 years. She and I have met several times throughout this process and discussed her experiences and preparation. I have been in contact with WGU, and her advisor has assured me that the long-term sub position will fulfill her student teaching requirements as well. Rochelle has informed me that she has passed all of her licensing tests and only needs to complete her student teaching to apply for her license. In order to maintain and improve the quality of instruction our students receive at North Elementary, we must secure and retain quality teachers that are invested in North Elementary and MSD North Posey. Rochelle is a community member and has more than proven her commitment to North Elementary. I am confident in her abilities and that she would make North Elementary her home. If we were to hire outside the district for this second semester, I would not have this confidence in the new hire's abilities or that they would stay at North Elementary long term. My goal is always to secure the best and keep them. Shanna McMahon.
And with that being said, until she gets the license, she will not be being paid at full pay as a teacher. As past practice, when they do not have a license, we pay them 80% of the teacher pay. I'm asking the board to approve Rochelle Belt for the kindergarten temporary position to fill in the second semester.
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to accept filling that position with Rochelle Bell.
I'll second.
Got a motion by Mr. Stock, seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve the transfer of Rochelle Belt to the temporary kindergarten teaching position. Do we have any discussion on that one?
I do have a couple things to add to that. It's not the job of the school board to micromanage the teacher hiring request of the building administrators. And on this particular request, I have great confidence Mrs. McMahon has recommended the person she feels is most qualified candidate for the job. And I do have a personal interest in this one because I do have a kid in this class, and I have no reservations about it at all. I do have some concerns about consistency and precedent moving forward on this. I don't like the precedent of not having a supervising teacher in the classroom with any student teacher, and I don't like paying someone to do their student teaching. Part of that's based on my own personal experience. Years ago, that couldn't happen. And most of the reason that it is allowed now is because the state has made a mess of things and created a shortage of teachers. So rather than fix the problem, they've decided to change the way to license teachers, and they've eased the requirements on that. So that's the reason that this is allowed. Doesn't make it right, and I can see where it could cause division among staff who had to go through the traditional process of getting their license, but it's what we've been given to work with at this time, and it doesn't take away from the fact that Mrs. McMahon has recommended the candidate she feels is best for the position, so I have confidence in that.
Anything else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Well, with that approval, we need to approve, asking the board to approve Amy Roberts to fill the temporary position vacated by Rochelle Belt as an instructional assistant at North Elementary.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Gentile, seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve Amy Roberts to the instructional assistant position vacated by Mrs. Belt. Any other discussion on the item? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
This time, I'd like to ask the board to approve the professional leave requests listed as they are as on the board and in your packet.
Looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the professional request as listed.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Will, seconded by Mr. Oakley to approve the professional leave request. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We are trying to continue to move forward with the Wi-Fi project. Basically, we're working with another company now, trying to keep our initial timeline that we gave you back several months ago, and hopefully we'll be able to continue that timeline. That nothing else will come up to stop us from being able to do that. And once we ever do get the Wi-Fi project completed, we will then be looking at which one of the things on there is our one-to-one devices We will be looking to distribute them. No reason to distribute them when you can't, we probably would not be able to connect 1,500 machines. It would create a major catastrophe. So once we get the Wi-Fi project in place, we will then be able to continue to move toward our one-to-one. And with the one-to-one, we will have to have an e-learning coach. And with that, we did approve that in the last master contract. We will be looking for that, and we'll when we get the devices for the teachers, to provide the ongoing training for the teachers the remainder of the year and the upcoming years. We're going to fill that position hopefully sometime in February. And with that being said, Dr. Wanamaker has some things about one-to-one and the innovation grants final report.
Okay. I'm not gonna go through the whole PowerPoint with you. It's in pretty specific detail for the Indiana Department of Education, but I do want to kind of highlight on 4 of these slides. So slide number 4, these are all the site schools that the subcommittee visited: Richland Bean Blossom, Plymouth Community School, Bedford North Lawrence, and Eminence Independent Schools. All of those schools did a great job hosting the team. They shared their policy and procedures with us, which we'll be using to help us write our own. It gave us a unique perspective, especially here at Eminence, as far as a technologically advanced school. As you could see, they have all the 21st century standards, images posted, everything's very high-tech at
They had
the
a
school.
slide,
Yeah, they
They
have
have
several of
slides.
those slides, yeah, so it's very
Really?
interesting.
I am so jealous.
Yeah. In their snack machine, they have different items that the kids have created rather than having snacks. So you can purchase items that the kids have created. So on slide 5, the takeaways again from the site schools are the information gained, the types of devices chosen, the pros and the cons, the different funding options. The majority of the schools did this through book rental, grants, capital projects fund. Also, we gained knowledge from the logistics of the rollout, the teachers as well as the student deployment. A lot of information gained on the repair and maintenance of equipment, the personnel support needed, replacement plans, and teacher PD and expectations for our teachers. This is just some of the information gained from the instructional audit. When we're going through some of the numbers, this was just an estimated cost for the infrastructure improvements, which we are under that actually. And overall, going into this, whenever we had the audit, our RISE technology score was at a 76.7%. And again, all of that cost was for the new switches, Wi-Fi updates, and new servers. And can you go back to, I think it's the, maybe the second, no, go back one more.
See, we were here.
Go at the very beginning, like 1 or 2. Yeah, try the next one. There we go. I just wanted to publicly thank the staff that put in the time. This is subcommittee members. They spent a lot of time throughout this year. It took a year as far as getting information and to get us where we are at this point, actually making a recommendation to what type of device. So we had, of course, Dr. Camp, myself, Eric Long started this out. Jake Rieken has finished it up for us. Jody Rankin, Steve Kavanaugh, Kelly Carlton, Shanna McMunn, Amanda Fehrenbacher, Amy Moore, Shalane Nemar, and Jennifer Knighty. There was a lot of extra work above their contractual duties, a lot of overnights to go visit. And these are just some of the activities that they took, participated in. And it was a pretty in-depth study to get us where we're at today. And then if you could go into the next one. Next one.
We did the secure meeting.
And the timeline. There we go. go. So our timeline to date, this was always kind of going back and forth, like Dr. Kemp had pointed out. We had some potential delays, but it seemed like it was worked itself out. We're waiting to pilot the initial Chromebooks next week with a selected group of teachers. What they're going to be doing with the Chromebooks, they're pretty well seeing how well they work for entering grades, getting lesson plans into the Canvas system, into the Harmony system, and then we're developing like a frequently asked questions and answers sheet for the rest of the teachers whenever they receive theirs. We're hoping by February to have the rest of the teachers will have those devices in their hands. I'm sure we may roll it out building by building by building, but potentially February, March, the teacher deployment will come out with the Chromebooks. Spring of 2018, the network infrastructure planning configuration will be complete. We hope to have our first e-learning coach hired by spring of 2018. This is going to be really big as far as the school board's input as the development of district policy and procedure. Again, we have some guidance from the other school districts who have shared their policy and procedure with us. And then on summer 2018, the network infrastructure cleanup, installation, and testing the one-on-one student equipment, the final order for the student devices then. And then we'll be ready for the full deployment of the one-on-one devices then the upcoming school year, 2018, August of 2018.
We have one device in the schools right now. It's at South Terrace, and but we've ordered 10. So we're going to be, as soon as they told us originally that we would have them Tuesday, but we'll probably get them toward the end of this week. As soon as we get those devices, we'll get those out for the teachers to pilot.
Yes, it's an exciting time for the students. I know the staff, the teachers are really wanting them. One of the surveys that you'll see in your PowerPoint, it was like over 86% of the teachers were saying what would help them as far as being more effective in the classroom when it was one-on-one devices. So I think we're ready for them. Are there any questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Ann.
Under reports, still, we have, that you were provided with calendars. Since we changed the policy, basically, we're putting that in reports at this time. And so the calendars have been issued and given to you. And that's all I have for this board meeting. The next board meeting will be Monday, January the 8th. Executive session 5:30, the regular meeting will be 6:30. And if you remember, January is the reorganization of the board, so we need to start thinking about that.
Anything else? What I got?
Sheriff? Okay.
All right. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Gentile, second by Mrs. Will. We are adjourned.